sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
It's not gonna happen, and Daniel McMillan,
Pennsylvania native, kept here winning here at Pocono.
Third win of the season, and win the championship.
Ryan Benjamin with the last lap pass,
And he is going to score the victory in the Minute Maid 300.
Salmon Oskin, third win of the season.
He's gonna get it and only leads 3 laps today!
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and welcome to the Pensacola International Raceway. We are here to begin the NOFSRL heats for the 2020 NR2003 Big One. Yes, the Big One still exists. Of course, if you guys have been on the channel for a long time, you know that the NR2003 Big One started out as the NRLA Big One all the way back in 2015. I ran the event for 4 years, and then last year I gave it over to my good friend Nathan Stapleton, and he runs it now with 8 leagues this year. Definitely going to be a very fun event. We got all the heat races this weekend for all 8 leagues. Next weekend, it's all the LCQ races, and then on July 25th on the NIRA Channel, it's the main event, the NR2003 Big One. We're going to focus on the NOFSRL here because that's the league I'm in, and these are the heats for the NOFSRL. We got 2 heats here today, each 10 laps, and the top 2 will advance to that main event on July 25th. Everybody else has to go to the LCQ next weekend, and only the winner in that 20-lap LCQ event next weekend will make it on to the NR2003 Big One main event. That system is the same for every league participating in the NR2003 Big One. Of course, we are here, the NOFSRL. Of course, the NIRA is part of it, TRN is part of it, NRSL, excuse me there, also part of it, NMSCRA is part of it, WRLA is part of it, WROA is also part of this, and then the last league, NRUK, that's the other one. So those are the 8 leagues participating this year. We got a lot of great leagues, and we begin with the NOFSRL. Now, how these 2 heats are split up, we have 15 total cars in the NOFSRL team. The first heat has 8 drivers, second heat has 7 drivers. In the NOFSRL, at least, we have it split up between a veterans heat and a rookies heat. So the more experienced drivers are in heat number 1. The newer drivers to the NOFSRL are in heat number 2. And these are the 8 drivers here in heat number 1. The number 53 of Matt Tuck, the number 54 of Nicolas Samudio, the number 57 of John Andrews, the number 59 of Zachary Fitzwater, the number 61 of Stuart Gratton, the number 64 of Thomas Troxell, the number 65 of Colton Yohe, and the number 70 of Trey Wright. These are the 8 drivers here in heat number 1. In heat number 2, the rookies heat, we got Jamison Thull in the number 55, Josh King in the number 56, Owen Miles in the 58, Nicolae Sikes in the 60, Brady Wilmington making his first career Napa fan start in the 62, Ethan Lewis in the 66, and Brayden Perez also making his first career start in the 67. We're going to go ahead and get going here for heat number 1 in the NR2003 Big One NOFSRL heats. Got all kinds of heats going on today. I believe NIRA, NRSL also going on today as well. But, of course, a lot of familiar faces here in heat number 1. Starting lineup there on the side of your screen. Number 61 machine of Stuart Gratton. And, you know, Stuart Gratton's a very familiar name, but he actually hasn't raced on Napa Fan as Stuart Gratton in a very long time. If I'm not mistaken, it's been since Season 7 of the Chick-fil-A Cup. So it's great to see Stuart himself back behind the wheel. Of course, his development driver, Mitchell Henderson, driving full-time in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Alongside him, number 54 of Nicolas Samudio, Mr. Edge himself. Great to see Samudio here in the NR2003 Big One heat for the NOFSRL. Of course, he's won at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway before, and that's where this event has been held every past year. Of course, this year it's moved to the Pensacola Super Speedway. But Nicolas Samudio, we'll have to see what he can do here in the number 54 machine. Row number 2, number 65, that is Colton Yohe. He's going to be starting to the inside of Matt Tuck in the number 53. Number 70 of Trey Wright to the inside of good old Zachary Fitzwater. I'm proud to have the best darn driver in NR2003 on Team NOFSRL. And he'll be driving the number 59, number 64 machine, Thomas Troxell to the inside of John Andrews, longtime runner on Napa Fan. Those are the 8 drivers in heat number 1. Top 2 advance on in the main event. The 6 who do not advance on, they will have to go to the LCQ, which will be run next Saturday right here on Napa Fan. But it's Stuart Gratton and Nicolas Samudio on the front row. Those 2 guys have been driving for a long time. They have a lot of history between each other. Same with Zachary Fitzwater. A lot of experience between those guys. The other guys in this field don't have as much experience, but they have been around for quite some time on Napa Fan. And this is the Pensacola International Speedway. I believe that's the official name of it. We have never run a race here on Napa Fan before. We're going to change that here today. Heat number 1 about to go underway here in Team NOFSRL. Top 2 advance on to the NR2003 Big One main event. We're underway here at Pensacola. Number 61 of Stuart Gratton holding on, get really fast speeds here, and it is very interesting. Of course, Pensacola replacing Coca-Cola Super Speedway as the venue for the NR2003 Big One this year. If you really want to be technical, we can say it's because Florida let us do it and Massachusetts didn't because of the pandemic. But something very unique about Pensacola, very, interesting about Pensacola, it is shaped and is the same length as the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. The banking into the turns is not as big here at Pensacola as it is at Coca-Cola, but the 2 tracks are very similar to each other. So if you do good at Coca-Cola, odds are you're going to do pretty good here at Pensacola. Like I said, the first time we have ever come here on Napa Fan, Stuart Gratton leads the first lap. Then to the inside of him, number 65 there of Colton Yohe. Here comes the 70 of Trey Wright. Here comes the 64. And this is something we see at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway quite often. 4 wide action. They split off pretty well right there to the inside. And Thomas Troxell down to the inside of Trey Wright. Now, it's really interesting with only 8 drivers in the field. And with the rookie heat, there's only 7 guys in heat number 2. So, not many guys in these races. So, it's going to be a cycle race the whole way through. You just got to be in the right place at the right time. That's why these heats are only 10 laps each. Still, they're much longer than what they were back in the day when I did the NR2003 Big One, and it's about 5 lap heats for each of these smaller packs. But either way, Thomas Troxell looking pretty solid right there in the 64. Inside lane, though, is going to be the place to be, as it is with most of these super speedways. Number 57 of John Andrews going to move to the inside of Thomas Troxell. And the inverse of the 64, I just realized they have the same sponsor, number 53 machine of Matt Tuck. I know Matt Tuck would love to make it in. There's Matt Tuck, Trey Wright, and Ethan Lewis. All 3 of those guys are NOFSRL members. They make regular NOFSRL content. Recommend you check those guys out if you haven't already. There's 2 of them are veterans in Napa Fan. Ethan Lewis, relatively new to Napa Fan competition, did drive a full-time season over in the Hers Dash Series, but outside of that, I really haven't seen Ethan Lewis on Napa Fan yet. But he'll be in the rookie heat right after this here from Pensacola, number 61, Stuart Gratton. I'm very intrigued to see what Gratton can do. He's been a long time, I should say, since he's been in a race car in Napa Fan. But then again, he has been driving in the New Era Cup Series, now the NOFSRL League, so definitely not surprised to see him run strong, him or any of these guys. I mean, all these guys know what they're doing. This is the veteran heat, of course. All these guys with a lot of experience, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. You got Matt Tuck there on number 54, or should I say Nicolas Samudio on number 54. I barely read the driver's list before I did this. Number 53, Matt Tuck's leading right now. They're only 1 number off. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I'm going to make that mistake every once in a while. It does appear that it is relatively easy to stay up front. These guys aren't making moves as aggressively as I thought they would. Stuart Gratton and Matt Tuck are currently the 2 guys in position to advance on. Of course, only the top 2 advance on in each heat, and everyone else has to go to the LCQ. And in the LCQ next week, only the winner advances on. Since we have 8 leagues in this event, we can only introduce 5 drivers from each league to be in the main event to make it even. So only 5 guys will be representing the NOFSRL 2 weeks from now. And Stuart Gratton wants to be one of those guys, but so does Colton Yohe in the 65. Looking to the inside there of Matt Tuck. Colton Yohe, two-time winner of the Christmas Eve 500, which is a joint event that we do with the NIRA every year. That's at the Daytona International Speedway, which is another super speedway on the schedule. Number 54, now Nicolas Samudio is moving his way up in the 54 machine. Going to get to the inside there of Matt Tuck. Colton Yohe going to look to the inside of Stuart Gratton. It's all going to come down to the last lap, though. It's basically what it is. Especially comes down to that, especially at any cycle track. Talladega, a very big track for that. If we were at Daytona, wouldn't necessarily be the case. I think if we were at Daytona, at least the Daytona we use, or at least I use, then we'd probably see some guys stay up front consistently. But when you come to a super speedway like this, when you see the average speed right there, 225 miles per hour, it's a pretty fast super speedway here in Pensacola, Florida. And when you get those high-speed racetracks like that, that inside lane just works out so much better. However, the outside lane is getting a bit of a push right here, and you got Samudio pushing Stuart Gratton on the outside, but it's not enough to clear the inside. Colton Yohe and Trey Wright there on that inside lane, and Zachary Fitzwater as well. You know, we got so many guys who have signed up for this event, 120 drivers, I do believe, 15 on each league. And with that high volume of drivers, only a third of them are going to be making it into the main event. But it would be a shame if Zachary Fitzwater missed out on it. Chris Fitzy, probably the most famous NR2003 offline driver around. Like I said, huge honor to have him here in Team NOFSRL for the NR2003 Big One. And he tried to work that inside lane there on Trey Wright, couldn't quite get it. The passing isn't very frequent. It's still a cycle race, but it's not happening every turn. Getting about one lead change a lap. And Stuart Gratton, you know, as this run has worked on, he's held onto that outside lane, and if it stays this way, Gratton and Yohe would advance on. Gratton's really pushing an outside lane. Even though the inside still is the stronger and more preferred lane, that outside lane is much better now than it was earlier on. Props to Stuart Gratton for making it work. He's going to have to make it work, though, the whole way through in these final two laps if he's going to be in the main event. Lock his spot on. He led that lap from the outside lane. How about this outside lane? Nicolas Samudio would love to push that 61 of Stuart Gratton past Colton Yohe and have him also get past Colton Yohe as well. Colton Yohe, though, might be able to clear on the outside here down the back stretch, but he's not going to be able to do so. That inside lane is starting to break up a little bit. Fitzwater trying to go three wide there for the third position, but he has no help. He's going to fall back. And how about this? Side by side still for the race lead here at Pensacola. Trey Wright, Colton Yohe trying to work that inside lane, but the outside lane is just better formed up at this point. White flag in the air for the first heat in Team NOFSRL, and Stuart Gratton leads it with one lap to go. Number 61 doing an excellent job right now. If he can clear Colton Yohe down the backstretch, I would imagine Nicolas Samudio would have a shot at getting that last transfer position. But Stuart Gratton has done such an excellent job in this outside lane, help from Nicolas Samudio. Will Gratton be able to clear Colton Yohe? He will not. The big question is, will that inside lane get enough of a run? Or will Stuart Gratton be able to advance on? Colton Yohe in the 65. A huge head of steam right there. That inside lane is finally formed up. But Stuart Gratton in the 61 coming. We'll have to see who gets the race victory in heat number 1. It will be Colton Yohe and Stuart Gratton advancing on in heat number 1 in Team NOFSRL. Colton Yohe, Stuart Gratton, they're both in the main event for the 2020 NR2003 Big One. Trey Wright finishing third, just barely missed out. Nicolas Samudio in the 54. Zachary Fitzwater, the 57 of John Andrews. The 53 of Matt Tuck in the 64 of Thomas Troxell. Those 6 guys will have to go to the LCQ next week. A reminder, only one driver in that 11-car field will make it on to the main event for the NR2003 Big One. Stuart Gratton did not win the heat. He came so close, but he does advance to the main event along with Colton Yohe. So Colton Yohe, Stuart Gratton the 2 veterans advancing on. Now we're going to put the 7 rookies on the racetrack and see which one of them can make it on to the NR2003 Big One here from the Pensacola International Speedway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's go ahead and get to the rookie heat. Only 7 guys, but still the top 2 advance on to the NR2003 Big One main event. Colton Yohe, Stuart Gratton, they advance on. Congratulations to them for doing so here at Pensacola. Let's go ahead and get to the second heat in Team NOFSRL. And now we're here for the second heat. Remember, top 2 guys advance on each heat. Of course, it's all Colton Yohe, Stuart Gratton advance on heat number 1 for Team NOFSRL. Now it's the rookies' turn to shine. I think this is a good system. You know, gives an opportunity to the rookies to get in and not have to worry about the veterans here. So definitely going to be interesting to see how it all works out. Jamison Thull in the number 55, Josh King in the number 56, Owen Miles in the 58, Nicolae Sikes in the 60, Brady Wilmington in the 62, Ethan Lewis in the 66, Brayden Perez in the 67. The 7 guys here in heat number 2. Top 2 advance on to the NR2003 Big One main event July 25th. Everybody else, they'll join the other 6 guys. Matt Tuck, Nicolas Samudio, John Andrews, Zachary Fitzwater, Thomas Troxell, and Trey Wright in the LCQ next week, where only 1 guy will advance on. As a reminder, 5 from each league will be in the main event for the NR2003 Big One on July 25th. Number 56 of Josh King, who is the points leader in the Turkey Hill Series right now. He's had a great season over there in the Turkey Hill Series. Got 1 win at Texas earlier this year. He's to the inside of Brayden Perez. First time he's ever raced on FM. Now, I will like to mention, these heat races do not count as official Napa fan races. Neither does the LCQ. They all compile to the main NR2003 Big One event, which I'm not doing. That's going to be on the NIRA Channel, so they do not count as official Napa fan wins here. Number 60 machine, Nicolae Sikes. I believe Nicolae Sikes is the only Chick-fil-A Cup Series driver in this rookie field, so probably has the best experience out of all these guys. Number 66, Ethan Lewis, ran the whole season in the Hers Dash Series earlier this year. Number 58 machine, Owen Miles, 62, Brady Wilmington, 55, Jamison Thull. Only 7 guys in this heat. That could make things interesting. We saw in the first heat that the outside lane had a very good advantage because they were able to stay formed up, but with 1 less car in the field for this one, it could get a little interesting. That outside lane may not end up being as strong at the end of the race because that guy in the back will actually have the choice on which lane he wants to help. Could be interesting with 1 less car here in the second heat, but it's still 10 laps, 30 miles here at Pensacola. Top 2 advance on to the main event in the NR2003 Big One and will represent Team NOFSRL. I'm proud of that. Team NOFSRL is the best one. Just saying. I'm not biased. Here we go. At Pensacola. 56 of Josh King to the inside of Brayden Perez. Here we go for 10 laps in the rookie heat. Heat number 2. Already some 3 wide in the back. Number 55. Jamison Thull trying to work something out, but how about Josh King pulling out to a huge lead there? May not want to do that. That inside lane might catch up a little bit better here. Number 60 machine there of Nicolae Sikes. Got the 58 as well of Owen Miles. That inside lane looking really strong as of now. We could end up with a big single file line if they clear them, but not going to be the case right here. And we might have a little bit more cloud cover as well, so these guys may end up going just a little bit faster than they did in the first heat. Josh King leads lap number 1. They're 3 wide back in here. And the more they battle in the back of this field, the harder it's going to be for these guys in the back to advance on. Of course, only the top 2 advance, so if you mess up now, you might not have a good opportunity of making it on. 58 going to go to the inside of the 60 machine right there. Owen Miles going to take that position away from Nicolae Sikes, or at least attempt to do so, and that's exactly what Josh King wants to see in his review. These guys are actually farther apart from each other now than they were in heat number 1. In heat number 1, they were all on each other in a traditional pack. These guys have a lot more room to maneuver here in heat number 2. Josh King looking to go flag to flag here. That would be awesome for Josh King. Of course, like I mentioned, points leader over in the Turkey Hill Series right now. They only got 8 races left in the season, so King definitely looking strong over there in his rookie campaign. I mean, he's looking really good here. Look at that gap he has on the field. Number 58 here in the second and final transfer position at the moment. Owen Miles, another relatively experienced driver. I think of all the guys in this race, he and Nicolae Sikes have the best experience, but Josh King as well also a very solid driver. The other 4 guys are relatively new to Napa Fan. Ethan Lewis has completed a full season on Napa Fan, but that was just the Hers Dash Series earlier on this year. Top 4 single file out. As a matter of fact, the whole field for a split second single file out. Now the 55 not going to be able to get the run. Completely different racing here in the second heat than what we had in the first heat. Number 62 there of Brady Wilmington to the inside of Jamison Thull for the 3rd position. He wants to have a shot there on the 58, driven by Owen Miles, but it's Josh King and Owen Miles, a couple of guys who were full-time in the Turkey Hill Series who have a lot of experience over there. And not only that, they're both full-time in IndyCar as well, so they've been getting a lot of laps in as of late. Of course, we had that excellent IndyCar race at Road America earlier today. Nathan Stapleton ended up winning, and this, of course, is Stapleton's event now, so quite fitting. But both Owen Miles and Josh King were in that event earlier today. I think they both finished as well. I don't think either of them failed. I just recorded that one earlier today, and I'm pretty sure they both made it on and finished the race. So, but an excellent race there at Road America earlier today in the Haas IndyCar Series. But very excellent run here for Josh King. Completely different style of racing in this one as we get this single file line. I think that one less car is making it a little bit easier for these guys to just simply go single file. But the thing is, once you get single file like this, it's hard to get runs, and these guys, they're struggling to make passes. Brady Wilmington tried to make a move on Owen Miles, and the 60 of Nicolae Sikes got to the outside of him. That's going to hurt Sikes, though, because he got stuck on the outside through the corner. Number 67 is going to move up to the 4th position. That is Brayden Perez in his first career start. Of course, like I mentioned, this is not an official Napa Fan race, so it does not count as an official Napa Fan win. For the final transfer position, there goes Brady Wilmington, who's maneuvered his way through this field very well, trying to determine which is the better cookie. To the inside of Owen Miles for a second. He's going to take that away. 66 also with a huge run. Ethan Lewis. Of course, Ethan Lewis is an official NOFSRL member. He puts out regular content for the NOFSRL, so I'm sure he'd love to represent the league in the NR2003 Big One. Like I mentioned, he hasn't made too many starts on Napa Fans. That's why he's in the rookie heat here for the NR2003 Big One in Team NOFSRL. But Josh King will go flag the flagger with Brady Wilmington. Ethan Lewis. Lewis is going to move to the inside of Wilmington there for the 2nd position. And Nicolae Sikes with a run 3 wide. The battle's essentially on for the final transfer spot here. Ethan Lewis is pulled away. Or should I say not Ethan Lewis. Josh King is pulled away in this one. Oh, but now we might see that outside lane finally form out like we saw in the first heat. And Ethan Lewis might be able to get that advantage on the outside lane of Nicolae Sikes. Sikes has no help. There you go, 3 wide in the back of the field. Brady Wilmington's going to get shuffled out, and Ethan Lewis holds on to 2nd. And Josh King just saying, you guys continue to battle like that. I'll go ahead and lock my spot on to the NR2003 Big One. So at every lap so far here in heat number 2 in Team NOFSRL. Number 66, though, of Ethan Lewis. He wants to get this race victory in the 2nd heat. 55. Jamison Thull going to move up to 3rd. That's the highest he's been all day in this 2nd heat. We'll have to see if we can have a shot on Ethan Lewis for the final transfer position. All these guys riding on each other right here. It's going to be intense on this final lap of the race. There goes Jamison Thull. He got a huge run into the inside of Ethan Lewis, and he's going to have a little bit of help there from the 67 to Brayden Perez. The big question is, I think, can anyone get to Josh King? And if this is any sign for the main event, Josh King's going to be a force to reckon with in the main event. Now they're 3 wide with 2 laps to go for that final transfer spot. Jamison Thull will hold on to the outside as Ethan Lewis gets shuffled out of line. Owen Miles wants to get that last position back away. I think Josh King and Owen Miles may be the two best drivers in this group right here. Obviously, they're both in the Turkey Hill Series. They both have won races in the Turkey Hill Series this season. Both doing pretty strong over there. Owen Miles going to get a run to the inside of Jamison Thull. And we'll have to see if he can get it because he didn't have any help there right behind him. It's going to be the white flag this time in heat number 2 for Team NOFSRL. Josh King looking to lead every lap in this heat. But the scuffle and the battle is on for the last transfer spot. I can't tell you who's going to get it. It could be any of these 6 guys behind Josh King. Owen Miles, 55. Jamison Thull, side by side for second. Only the top 2 advance on. Josh King, with the huge gap he has, is most likely going to get that first one. How about Brady Wilmington? He's come back through the field. He's going to get back to the inside. Will Owen Miles be able to clear him off the corner? Looks like he will. They're single file. It might be between Wilmington and Miles. Brayden Perez is going to have a shot. They're 3 wide back in there. I don't think any of those guys are going to have a shot here in this heat. They're going to have to go to the LCQ. Josh King is going to win heat number 2 for the final transfer spot. It will be Owen Miles. Josh King, Owen Miles advance on in heat 2 of the NOFSRL. They will join Stuart Gratton and Colton Yohe representing NOFSRL in the main event of the 2020 NR2003 Big One. Jamison Thull, Nicolae Sikes, Brady Wilmington, Ethan Lewis, and Brayden Perez will go to the last chance qualifier. And only the winner in that 20-lap race next week will be in the main event. Official standings in heat number 2. Josh King went flag to flag. Owen Miles gets the other transfer position. And we'll take a look at the official drivers making it on to the NR2003 Big One. Definitely a very solid group of guys here from Team NOFSRL here at the Pensacola Speedway. And Stuart Gratton, Colton Yohe advancing in heat number 1. In heat number 2, it was the number 56 of Josh King winning, and Owen Miles as well. The other drivers going to the LCQ next Saturday, and the winner of that LCQ race will be in the main event for the NR2003 Big One. Everybody else gets sent home, and that's it for this year's Big One. But thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Colton Yohe, Stuart Gratton, Josh King, and Owen Miles. They're going to be in the main event next weekend. And then, let's see how it goes for the LCQ next weekend. So we'll hear from the Pensacola International Speedway. Thank you guys so much for watching. NR2003 Big One main event, July 25th on the NIRA Channel, Nathan Stapleton's channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys check that out later on, a couple weeks from now. And check out the other heats as well for all the other teams. NRA's doing theirs, all the other ones. They're all over the place, and you probably won't have too much trouble finding them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week for the LCQ here in Team NOFSRL for the 2020 NR2003 Big One. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.